Welcome to my live. This is Sunday, November 16th. These are the 5 questions I asked and answered when I changed careers at 47. If you have this feeling in your gut that I was meant to do bigger things, and this is not enough. I got to do more in my life, but you're paralyzed with questions. This video is for you. I'm 49 now, and 18 months ago, I changed careers from real estate development to business coaching. This is my 3rd time doing a full-blown reset as an entrepreneur. If you're wondering what to do, what questions to ask, you're paralyzed with questions and fear, this video is for you. I'm going to help you with what I got and what I had to answer. Question number 1. What fears did I have when I got started? Well, my biggest fear really was, I shouldn't say it's the biggest fear, but number 1, whether I'm going to look stupid. What are people going to say when I haven't been anywhere before this? So I literally had one Facebook profile before I started doing social media content 18 months ago. Actually, now it's like 19 or 20 months ago. And I was nowhere. It was really a virtue for me to be anonymous behind the scenes, fly under the radar. People didn't know my name or my face. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. But if I was really honest with myself, the real reason behind that was that I was just insecure. I didn't want people to comment as far as what my content was or if I was right or wrong. I was way too outcome driven. And I thought that if I was successful or happy in life, it had to do with my success. Losing was not an option for me. So I wanted to fly under the radar so that nobody knew what I did or if I failed. So that was my insecurity. So I didn't like people commenting. That was fear number 1. Fear number 2 was if I had the right skill set. You know, the imposter syndrome, right? Everybody has that. And fear number 3, am I ever going to make money? And fear number 4, am I a quitter if I pivot now? Because as an entrepreneur, it's so deep in my DNA to make sure that I always keep pushing and get better. I understand that it takes 10 years to get really good at something. Ignorance debt is a real thing. The cost of not knowing what you don't know. So what I did was that I just kept pushing, and I was like, okay, I'm such a loser and quitter if I now change businesses, so to say. But then I finally realized that, look, I owe it to myself to really pursue my passions and my deep interest areas in life. There's no other option for me. And as long as I stay in the game, I can pivot 50 million times. As long as I remain a business owner, I stay in the game called entrepreneurship, I never lose. Because if I don't quit, I never lose. And that's how I reframed it for myself. So I'm okay, I'm allowed to pivot, so to say, as long as I stay in the game. Question number 2 for me was, how much money did you make? Well, this is the question I would ask myself. And my record as an entrepreneur, as a real estate developer, this actually happened in the US as well. So I peaked at 5 million roughly in terms of revenue, and my net profit was 10% off of that. And you can do the math. It was okay money. I wasn't like a multi-millionaire in any way, but I was able to accumulate a sizable rental portfolio, and my company was doing great. Then came the downturn, and everything kind of like went down the toilet from that point on. But literally, I made a decision to ramp down a multi-million dollar company in order to make zero money with my new business. That's how much conviction I had to start this new thing. And money is not the number one thing for me. It's my ability to do what I truly enjoy. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed real estate tremendously as well. It was just one of my passions, but I felt that I really have an obligation to help other people as well. And education, coaching, and this content game was something that I felt that if I don't do it now, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So I had really no other option. There were plenty of fears. What are people going to say? I have never been in front of a camera. I don't know how to create content. I don't know anything about the social media marketing. So there was a big learning curve there. But money was not really the driver. And honestly, if we talk about numbers, so I make roughly $2,000 a month right now from my coaching clients. So I'm nowhere near where I was with my previous business. But I also know that there are 4 ways how you can use leverage in life. 1 is capital, then it's labor, and it's code and content. And I can't code, but content is the new form of leverage where you can actually, it's like creating music. So you basically have your own IP, intellectual property. And I'm a big believer in trying to create something for myself that leaves a legacy. And I think if I'm successful in what I do, I can build a community, I can build an archive and a library of content that helps other people in their journey. Because, like I said, I feel like I have an obligation to help others. I've gone through a lot ever since I was 19. So I've lived in different countries. I've gone through personal adversity and divorce and difficult breakups and starting from scratch as a business owner 3 times. So I think I have a lot to offer for those people who need help, many in their 40s. And therefore, money was really not on the table. But my cost structure for my new company is very slim, so to say. My expense structure is not that heavy, and I can go all in. And I have some savings from my previous years, and I have some rental income coming in as well. I'm going to be fine for now, but don't get me wrong, I'm not set for life, so to say. I need to make this work, and the longer it takes, the harder it is. Question number 3, what skills did you need during your transition when you changed careers? This is an interesting part. I divided the skills needed into 3 different buckets. Bucket number 1 was really my history and my life experience. And that's really what I based the whole concept on. And what is it that I have done? So I need to start documenting my journey. I need to start telling stories, and I need to put these in writing, and I need to create videos, like my own library of content. That was bucket number 1. I was pretty comfortable with that, even though I, of course, suffer from the imposter syndrome. And then the second bucket was that I recognized that, okay, I need to get better in terms of personal development. I need to have some concepts that work. I need to have tools in my toolbox. I had plenty that I had used myself, but then I felt that I had to study more. So that was the second bucket, and also some deeper business content as well, so that I can help entrepreneurs in different areas of their businesses. And then the third and the biggest gap in my skill set was my ability to create content. I had no idea how to do it. And the deeper I go into this YouTube game, the more I learn and the more difficult it gets, because I'm exposed to global competition. All my previous businesses basically have been local businesses. And at the height, so to say, or at the worst case or the most difficult situation for me was when maybe 20 or 30 or 40 local builders and developers were competing for the same projects. That was in San Diego. When I moved back to Finland, the number of competitors went even down from there. Of course, real estate is a very capital intensive game, so you need to put a lot of money up front in order to be able to compete there. But it was a completely different thing. And now, for the first time, I literally understand what companies go through. I'm not comparing myself to big multi-billion-dollar corporations, but it's a different ballgame when you build cruise ships or when you're in an automotive industry versus a very local competition. All global businesses are exposed to global talent, global processes, and all of the above. And I'm actually, in a very microscopic view, I'm dealing with the same thing. When I create content, it's not just people who live in the same town with me who create content. Everybody who speaks English and is a life architect like me or a business coach, they are my competitors, quote unquote. And there are probably millions of those people on this planet. As far as demand, the audience, there are billions of people on this planet who speak English. So it's a gigantic ocean, so to say. There are plenty of fish, there are plenty of sharks, and my job is to navigate, find my own little pocket, my niche in the beginning, and then be able to monetize that. But this is the hardest thing I've ever done as an entrepreneur, by far, and professionally too. I really have to push hard in order to make something happen. But the good news is that when I have a client, I'm able to help these people. So now I'm still in this phase where I have to market and sell and promote more so that I can create attention. That's about the skills. The fourth question I had to ask and answer was, how much effort does it really take? And I'm a big effort guy. And if I think about, the short answer here would be that everything you've got and then some. And really the hard part is that we don't really know, first of all, how long it takes and how much effort it takes. But to me, results in life, whether it's money or free time or your ability to do whatever you enjoy the most in life, is basically a simple formula. So it's time times effort times skills. And you need all of those. And effort is one of those things that I just look at it such that I work hard. I work really hard, 7 days a week. Today is Sunday. When I'm recording this, yesterday I recorded a longer video about the same topic. I probably worked 8 to 10 hours on a Sunday. I was done editing the video at 10 p.m. I'm not saying this to get sympathy point. I'm saying this because I enjoy what I do. And it's impossible to work enough, in my opinion, put in the hours and the reps if you don't do what you love. And this is what I keep telling my own kids all the time, that your number one job in life is to go after your interests in life. What are you passionate about? That's the first question always. And then go full steam ahead towards that direction. Because there's no other option. If you want to get good at something, it takes an unreal amount of effort and time. And you just need to keep grinding and grinding and grinding. And if you hate Mondays, and if you need that 5-week vacation every year, and if you count the days when you have a day off, so to say, you're never going to make it, so to say, depending on, of course, on what your goals are. But the number one criteria is that you just need to be able to do what you love. And people talk about work. To me, work is something you have to do. I don't call this work. This is like, it's not a hobby either, but it's something that I enjoy. It's like training. I only do those things in life that I enjoy the most. I train, I hang out with my kids, and I try to build something, and that's my business. Those are really the only things that I do. I don't play volleyball, or I don't go fishing, or I don't do any of that stuff. I pretty much ask myself, okay, this new thing somebody's suggesting to me, am I going to commit to that for the next 10 years? If the answer is no, I'm not going to even start. That's one way of making sure that you have singular focus in life. Because the older I get, the more I understand how much effort it truly needs and requires to really get good at something. And it's unreal. It's just unbelievable. I'm 49 now, and I start to understand now what it takes to get really good at something. In the past, I've talked about this a lot. I used to be a yes guy because I was insecure. I felt that I need a backup plan. I need an insurance policy, and I need all of the above to be able to just keep all doors open in case something bad happens. Here, I always have a backup plan. People who need backup plans, they don't have a plan A. You can never execute your plan A. You're never good enough with your plan A if you need a plan B, because your focus is already divided. And that took me very many years to understand. Unfortunately, way too long. And I think that's partly why my results have never been better than what they have been. I'm not dissatisfied with my results. I've never really been able to go super, super deep into anything, but I'm pretty good at multiple domains. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can help others now, because I can understand their business, and I can understand work, and I can understand family and relationship stuff, and I can help them with their fitness and health as well. I have a very holistic approach. We talked about how much effort, so it takes a lot of effort. So understand what matters to you, what are you interested in, then go all in, eliminate all the noise in your life, and say no to pretty much everything. 90% of the stuff in your life is just complete bullshit. It doesn't apply to you. Understand what 10% is really the stuff that matters to you, what applies to you, and then you go all in towards that. The question number 5 in my journey in changing careers was, how long is it going to take? I pretty much answered that already, but I look at it this way, that it takes 10 years to get really good at something in life. And yeah, you always hear somebody say, hey, well, my neighbor, he got lucky, or he made lots of money in a year and a half. Of course, I mean, there are plenty of those stories. But overall, I think 99.9% of the people, if you look at entrepreneurs or whatever, you got to be able to put in the reps and the volume and lay the foundation, so to say. And it takes 10 years. So that's how I look at it. So if it takes 10 years, I can't divide my attention. And this career change, if we go back to this, I looked at it this way, that, okay, I'm a year and a half in, year and 7 months in now. And I told myself in the beginning, it's going to take probably 5 years to start making some good money, and then 10 years to get really, really good at this. And I'm going to keep going. Right now, I'm at a phase where nothing seems to be working, literally. I have 30,000 plus subscribers, but they all seem to be dead, because I made the mistake of being way too generic with my content at one point. I started attracting the wrong audience compared to the 40 plus men now that are my bread and butter as far as the cohort goes or the target audience goes. And now I'm in the process of retraining the algorithm. I mean, it sounds like a super fancy word, but yeah, it's a real thing, I guess, people tell me. And it takes time. It's probably going to take me another 2 or 3 or maybe 4 months to start getting some traction again when the algorithm understands that I talk mainly and pretty much only to those people in my target group. And then we'll see how it goes. But many people also say that social media and YouTube especially, they all go in towards from social media to interest media, meaning in the past, subscribers meant everything. Gary Vee talks about this all the time when he says that, okay, look, in the beginning when he looked at his millions of subscribers, he was pretty much basically able to estimate very accurately how many likes, how many views, how much engagement he's going to get with every single new video. Now it's completely different. The so-called TikTokification of social media changed that completely. So you go more towards interest media. So any piece of content can go viral. YouTube, the long form YouTube is still a little different because it's, I guess, the most stubborn algorithm, and they still test the new videos among the existing subscribers first. And if that subscriber base is dead, then it's hard to kind of get traction. But anyhow, all excuses, all noise, all bullshit. If you're good enough, you'll get what you deserve in life. And that's one of the main principles for me as well, that I always keep asking myself, okay, so am I satisfied or dissatisfied with the existing results? And if the answer is okay, well, they're not pretty good, I'm like, okay, zoom out. So look at it as a 1 or 2 or 3 year horizon, and then those little bumps in the road in the short term don't really matter that much anymore. And that's how I keep my head in the game, because if I'm always measuring my success and happiness based on what I achieved, I'm never going to be happy. And look at it this way, that if you're unemployed and your goal is to find a job, and let's say you're in a tough labor market, there's a recession and whatnot, the only way for you to keep your head in the game and be happy on a daily basis when you're struggling with your job hunting is to change the way you measure success. Okay, instead of asking yourself, did I find a job today? You ask yourself, okay, did I do what I was supposed to do? What are the winning actions to find a job? Okay, I need to, as an example, I need to write resumes, send resumes, call people, knock on doors, talk to my LinkedIn audience, post on LinkedIn for 4 hours every day. Okay, did I complete that action? Yes, I did. Okay, this day was a success. And knowing that it's only a matter of time before you get what you deserve. But if at the end of the day, you always are disappointed that you didn't find a job, there was no job offer, life is going to be unbearable. Same way if you're a fitness fanatic, let's say you go to the gym and you want to grow your biceps, okay? You don't measure your bicep after every workout, because nothing is going to happen after a week or a month. Maybe after a year, 5 or 10 years, you see some progress. So you can't be disappointed when you get home and there's no pump anymore in your biceps, that you feel like nothing happened. You just laid the foundation and keep grinding, and your happiness is defined by the progress you make and the execution that you do and the actions you take. And then in a long enough time horizon, you always get what you deserve. That's how I kind of like keep my head in the game. That's how I keep my motivated all the time. So these were the 5 questions I answered and asked from myself when I changed careers at 47. So if you're in a similar spot, that you're like in your 40s and you're like, your gut is telling you that, look, I have more to offer. My intuition is telling me that, okay, this is not it. I was meant to do bigger things in life. And honestly, I had this feeling too, that whatever I had done up to that point was not enough. I was meant to do bigger things. And I mean, this might sound arrogant, but I don't know. I felt that I'm too good to just settle with what I had. Call me naive, maybe. I don't know. People have different opinions, but that's how I looked at it. And that's why I started doing what I did. And that's why I was able to really leave everything behind. I still need to manage the ramp down. But as far as the money, I'm not taking any, I'm not going after any new opportunities. And I'm willing to go through this grind so that I wouldn't have any regrets at the end of the day when I'm out of time. So if you are in similar shoes, you've been working in the same job for 20 years, you're contemplating whether I should switch from corporate to corporate or maybe start my own business, fear is the one thing, the first thing that is blocking you from doing that. So you need to understand that fear is short-term and regret is always long-term. So we overestimate fear, but we underestimate regret. And the real key and solution to this is to flip this, reverse this whole thing. So start looking at the long-term regret as the only price tag in your life, because fear and pain are temporary. Regret lasts forever. It's going to go away. You won't feel the pain anymore. And the other thing is that there has to be, you have to face adversity and mistakes, make mistakes in life, and go through turmoil and have bumps in the road. Otherwise, you're not growing. So I understand if there's a mortgage involved and there are kids and there's a spouse and there's neighbors' opinions, but that at the end of the day is all noise. You can make it work. If you want it bad enough, you can sell the house. That's what I did, by the way, as well. I sold my house, moved into a smaller apartment. I started deleveraging. I started paying off some loans so that my cash flow situation would be better. I was willing to do a lot of drastic stuff so that I could do whatever I do now. Literally. Not make money. I was willing to lose money so that I wouldn't make any money here, but that's hopefully short term. It's quiet today, Sunday. It's okay. This is going to be saved in my channel, so go and take a look at this after the fact. I've been ranting here mostly on my own for 21 minutes now, and like I said, ignore the fears. Change that job. You owe it to yourself to do what you love the most. Hope this added value. Thanks for staying in my channel. Subscribe if you like the content. And do me a favor at the end of this video, when you hopefully watch the whole thing, this whole 22 minutes. So ask yourself, okay, which one of these 5 fears resonated the most? And reply with the comment. Number 1 was, what fears did you have? Number 2, how much money did you make? Number 3, what skills did you need? Number 4, how much effort does it take? And number 5, how long does it take? Which one of these is the one that you keep thinking about the most? Okay? Don't let these questions keep you stuck. There are other ones for sure. Let me know what bothers you the most out of these 5. Thanks a lot and enjoy your Sunday evening.